Hey there YouTube, welcome back to, this will probably be my, possibly my last video before Christmas. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish my battalion in time, but you never know. I was also thinking about doing my 8th Division update, and then I noticed that I was one colonel short, so that's kind of been put on a little bit of a hold, and I'll basically do that colonel either as I'm doing the battalion or just after. It shouldn't take me longer than a day or two. So I thought, well, I might as well just do part 2 of my overview of my older armies. So basically I asked you guys for some votes as to what you want to see next. And it basically, I think I got like seven votes, one of which was basically he said he didn't mind and whatever I wanted. So it was basically a tie, and because of that 7th vote, I decided to, assuming the last video was Saga, I'd actually make this one bolt action. So I'm basically going to take you through my Marine Corps army. Now originally this video was in 2 parts, it was quite long. I'm going to try obviously to try and cut that down a little bit, but we are talking sort of like probably getting on for over an hour's worth of video out of the 2 parts, so this could theoretically go on for 30 or 40 minutes, but it's definitely worth a watch. I've got to say, this is again definitely one of my favourite armies. I think this was my 2nd bolt action army. I spent a lot of time and a lot of work on it. I worked out the camouflage scheme myself using a reference book, which I may show you at the end, depending on time. And basically, the army split into it's split into two platoons. But for some reason, I can't seem to find the 2nd lieutenant for the 2nd platoon. So whether he's accidentally mixed in with one of the squads, I'm not too sure. But theoretically, I could basically use one of the other command figures if I really wanted to. So what you see before you is basically most of the, all of the foot troops. There's 4 squads. There's a whole plethora of support weapons. Off to either side, here and here are all the vehicles, and there's actually quite a few. When I opened up the box, I kind of forgot just how many vehicles these guys have got, because my sort of ad hoc American army has only really got 2 Shermans, and that's more or less it. So it took me by surprise when they've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicles and 2 artillery pieces. Well, not artillery pieces, but 2 guns. So yeah, so let's get started with the command figures, shall we? So let's zoom in on those. So they are down here. So these guys are the command figures. This guy is an optional assistant. So basically we have, I'll start off with the highest rank. So this guy is the major, obviously optional. Just get him in focus. You can see that he is in a half and half, because I designed my Marines for like the mid-war, when they were basically just first issued this type of the first type of camouflage, and you get a lot of mixtures between the normal green and the camouflage, and I really like that idea. So throughout my army you'll see all sorts of mixtures of different types of uniform, both greens and the camouflage and all camouflage, and some have got green trousers, some have got camouflage tops, etc, etc throughout the army. Now I was pretty chuffed with the way this camouflage scheme came out. I remember Ralph was asking me about what colours I used for them. To tell the truth, I'm really having trouble trying to think back. I might have to come back with a video after I've sort of sorted it out, but I'm pretty sure the brown was flat brown. This colour here is Now I always get mixed up with the same colours. There's one. It's either grey green or green grey. I get mixed up with them all the time. Basically, one is more or less a grey colour, and the other one is this perfect green colour for the old style Marine Corps uniform. I was trying to think of the colour that I used for the base of the trousers. I think it's something like no, it slipped my mind. I'm going to have to come back with an extra little video on colours for this. So sorry, Ralph. I can't actually remember. I'm kind of doing this video on the fly because I thought, well, I've just kind of prepped my next battalion. It took me an extra day because I decided to use Perry's stuff, and obviously it needed to be put together. Also, I've had, this is basically like the first week where, although unfortunately I'm still on crutches, I've actually felt, more or less like my old self again. So I've kind of been doing some other stuff in the background that has been taking up my time in other ways. So this guy is the Major, and he is actually an assault group figure. You'd actually come across a lot of assault group throughout this army. I originally bought the plastic box set, and I originally was going to just use the assault group bar miniatures for the BARs, and I ended up liking them so much that I actually brought a lot more in. So you'll come across assault group Marines all over the place. So that is the Major. Then we have a Captain. Now obviously you can always swap one of these guys out to make them a lieutenant if you want, although I suppose this guy's probably a little bit more worthy than the first figure, as he kind of really does look like a sort of a higher echelon type officer. This guy, obviously I think officers are basically equipped with a pistol unless otherwise, so this guy could theoretically be used. Why a lieutenant wouldn't have a rifle, I don't know, but I suppose you could get away with using him. Then we have the lieutenant. So this is obviously the lieutenant of the 1st platoon. Like I said, I'm kind of lost the 2nd lieutenant for the 2nd platoon, because I had one 1st lieutenant, one 2nd lieutenant. This guy I chose for, he's an assault group of course, I chose for his position. I really liked it. I wanted a sort of an action pose and officer. Again, he's gone for the half and half look, and yeah, really nice figure. Okay, next up we'll go for the this guy is kind of like an optional guy that you can use as a helper, or an assistant rather. He's a Warlord, and funnily enough he's in half and half too, with the standard US Marine Corps helmet cover of that time. Next up we'll go for the observers. So we have these two observers are kind of been kit bashed. We have the artillery spotter here. He's got the old school, quite bulky Marine Corps radio. Unfortunately his little aerial that I made for him has snapped, but you can see that I made a map for him out of like, I think it was milliput actually. And obviously this backpack's made out of milliput too. And you can see he's got his Thompson just laying beside him there. And this is the artillery observer. Then we have the air observer. So we've got this guy. I've kind of made him a handset out of green stuff again, a little bit oversized, but it did the job. And again, he's got his Thompson laying down beside him, and he's kind of behind a little rut. Now the terrain I chose for these guys is there's actually like 3 different types. There's the beach, there's the ground between the beach, and then there's sort of like grassland. So you can see that this guy's in the bit of ground between the beach and the sort of grassland. Yeah, so that is the air observer. Okay, next up we'll go for the support troops, or the support teams, in other words. So we'll start off with Bazooka Team. So here we have, these guys are plastic, obviously, Warlord plastic Marines. I was very happy with the way that you could make bazooka teams out of the normal Marines. So here we have the bazooka operator with his carbine strapped to his back, and he's obviously got a backup pistol, and he's actually all in camouflage, but he hasn't got the camouflage marine cover. He's got just a sort of normal netting. So that is the bazooka firer. The bazooka loader next. So here we have another plastic guy, kind of converted into being the loader. So we've given him a pack of rockets. He's holding a rocket there ready to load, and he's cradling his carbine in his arm. And he's got all his gear. So that is the, oh, and of course the standard Marine Corps camouflage helmet. That's the bazooka team. Then we have the flamethrower team. I think these guys are Warlord. I think you got them in the Army box set. So we have the flamethrower operator here with the M2 or the M3 flamethrower. He's actually all in greens. So perhaps it's an M2 actually. He's got, I like the way he's got a 38 in his holster there, which is the sort of the older Marine Corps handgun before they adopted the 45, which you find a lot of sort of non-enlisted troops end up having. And of course the flamethrower operator having a backup pistol is standard. And then we have his helper, who is the macho man who's bare-chested. You can see that he's got a Japanese water bottle there, and also a Japanese satchel, which he's obviously captured. And his Garand, this is his main weapon. I like the way his chest flesh came out actually. He looks very sort of suntanned and buff. So there we have the assistant flamethrower guy. Next up we've got a couple of sniper teams. These are, yeah, I've said that those guys, the flamethrower team, are Warlord. This sniper, we have two sniper teams now. So the first one is, actually both of them are assault group, I believe. This is the first one, in a standing pose, all in camouflage, rank of corporal actually. Then his assistant here, he's in half and half. He's also assault group. Then we have the second team. Now the second team was born mainly because there was two teams of snipers in the pack from assault groups, so I decided to make two sniper teams. So here's the assistant, and you can see that he also has a scope rifle. And the one thing I really do like about this guy is that he's got like a Japanese flag tucked into his belt there, which I think came out really cool. And he is all in camouflage. So those are the sniper teams. Next up we have the medic. Now this is a medic with a helper, and it's kind of designed, I designed it to be like a little mini vignette. So basically you have I made this medic an officer, so he's like basically like a surgeon rather than a corpsman, and on his base you can see the remnants of the gauze that he had been stopping the blood from the patient, whose helmet is there actually. So he is kind of just putting his medical gear away. He's got, got a little bit of blood on his hands because obviously he didn't have time to put gloves on. And And then we go to the assistant who's actually carrying the wounded guy. So if you look at the ground on him, there's again a little piece of discarded bandage or gauze from stemming the blood. Now this guy's only been shot on the leg. Then we have his Thompson there, and a little bit of blood from where the guy first fell. And then he's kind of dragged behind cover by the medic. And then we have this really nice, this is assault group as well, I believe. We have the injured guy being carried by the assistant, or the assistant corpsman, who is a petty officer. And I like the way that he's still got some sand on his boots, the casualty. And there's his actual wound, and I've actually stuck a little bit of medical gauze over the wound as if it's been bandaged up. And there's the actual guy who's been shot, and there's a little bit of blood on his uniform from his hands, from the guy's hands, but a really nice figure, and I was pretty chuffed with that little vignette. So that is the medic out the way. Now I think that's all of the smaller teams. So next up we'll go for the support weapon options. So first up we have a moving 30 cal. So here we have this was in the starter set, I believe. This guy has now, strangely enough, in the actual starter set, a lot of heads didn't, all the heads weren't all Marine Corps heads, so you come across every now and then some with just normal netting over, and I think in a couple of cases I also ended up using normal American heads because of the face sculpt rather than the actual helmet that they're wearing, and I think this guy could possibly be one of those because he's got a bit of a beard going on. But yeah, it's a really nice figure. I really like the way he's kind of firing his 30 cal from the hip. This is I'm pretty sure these guys are Warlord. I think they came in the starter set, like I said. So that is the machine gunner. Then we have the loader, the number 2, running up with the ammo box. And then we have the number 3, who's got the horrible job of having to not only lug the some ammo, but also lug the incredibly heavy tripod and carry a carbine. So this guy's got a tough job, and you can see he's in half and half. So that is the moving 30 cal. Then we have the setup team. So here we have the 30 cal behind a sort of grass verge. This is kind of just on the verge of one of the beaches. There's a bit of sort of undergrowth and sort of beach type foliage. And this is also a Warlord team, and you can see that that chap there's got a tattoo. And again, mixture of gear. So this guy's got a green trousers and a normal US Marine Corps tank top vest. And the gunner is actually all in green, and the assistant, or the number 3, is actually got he's got a Japanese water bottle there by the looks of it, and he's got a camouflage top and green trousers. Really nice team. So that is the machine gun team, or 30 cal team. Then we have the mortar, the 81 Mike, and this comes with a spotter. So I'll show you the mortar first. So here we go, basic mortar, Warlord, came in the starter set, I believe, and we've got a rather hot looking team operating this weapon. Just basically bog standard, mostly practically all in greens, all of them that aren't completely bare-chested or wearing oh, this guy's got the olive green Marine Corps tank top vest, and of course the loader there, who's got some tats, or one tat, like a little US Marine Corps Eagle there. Yeah, so that's the 81 Mike, the 81mm mortar. Okay, next up the spotter. Now obviously this spotter is an officer, and I've kind of designed him so that he's hiding in some bushes behind some rocks, and he's actually got a soft cap on, and he has a half and half uniform, and yeah, he's got his rifle there, and probably off to the side he's got his assistant with a radio. But that's the observer, and I suppose you could use him for either the mortar or one of the 75mm pack howitzer. So that is all of the smaller teams done. Next up we'll go start on the infantry. Let's start off with this unit here. This is I think this was either my first or my second infantry unit that I did. And you can, of course, you'll come across a whole plethora. I think you'll find that there's a lot of warlord guys in my first squad or two, with maybe a few assault group miniatures, and then as the later groups come on, you'll find much higher ratios of assault group guys within those squads. Let's start off with, if I can find the sergeant. So these squads are designed along the box, what the box suggested. Oh, here's the sergeant actually. So this is the sergeant of what I've called Bravo Platoon. He's assault group, and obviously you can see he's got a carbine rather than a Thompson. So that is the sergeant. He's in a half and half. Then we have I think we've got 2 submachine guns in this squad. So these guys are warlord. Get it to focus. There we go. Bog standard plastics. All in green and half and half. Put them back over here. Then we have I think there's, yeah, so we've got 2 shotguns in this squad as well. So here we have one. This guy's warlord plastic. You can see he's got his helmet on his hip there. He's wearing the one of the slouch hats. He's got a cigarette in his mouth. He's got a shotgun at the ready. He's got the part of a tattoo showing on his sleeve. Just under his sleeve there, he's got a pistol, and he's also got underneath his helmet. Actually, I think he's got an extra pouch for his shotgun shells. So that is the one of the shotgunners. The second shotgunner is here. He is plastic as well. You can see he's kind of getting ready to throw a grenade. He's got a shotgun there. Corporal. Again, the shotgun pouch there. He's all in greens. Then we have just randomised infantryman. So he's got a carbine. I think originally he was kind of meant to be like sort of the support guy for the bar gunner, but obviously bar gunners don't need support, so he's kind of just like a normal infantryman now, basically. So here we have the first bar gunner. We've got 2 bar gunners in this team. So here's an assault group miniature. He's all in green, but he has got the Marine cover, the Marine Corps camouflage cover. And then we have the second bar gunner here. He's throwing a grenade. He's carrying his bar by its handle, which I wouldn't have thought would be that comfortable actually, because they're quite heavy bars. That's an assault group miniature. And then we have another 2 assault group miniatures. If I can get them in focus. So we've got one with a Garand, one with a carbine. I think that guy's supposed to be like the support for the other bar, but of course they don't need them. And then we have, for some reason, we have another submachine gun in this team. I'm pretty sure you're only allowed 2, so I might have to swap this guy out. If I can get it to focus, that is. Come on. There we go. So again, running, got a grenade in his hand. There's Thompson mags, all in green. And finally, another rifleman, who is, I'm not a massive fan of prone figures, and this was one of the very few that I actually used in an infantry squad. You can see that he's got his rifle by his front there, and he's lobbing a grenade. And he's all in greens too. So that's the end of the first rifle squad. Second rifle squad now. This one seems to be a lot more plastic. So perhaps this was actually my very first squad, and that second one, the one I just did, was the second one I did. Although it does feel as if it's got at least 1 or 2, maybe just one, the one assault group metal in it, and that of course being the sergeant. So this is the sergeant of, this is Charlie squad. So yep, sergeant, assault group. Then we have again the 2 shotguns. So here's one, plastic warlord, pretty bog standard, all in greens. Second one, oh, just dropped him. Hold on, there we go. The second one, who's actually using one of the unused bandoliers of shotgun shells, because I found them quite difficult to put on, but it looks quite good on this guy. He's also got a machete as well. Then we have oh, here's the second bar. So another prone miniature. He's in half and half. Then we have 2 submachine guns. Oh, actually we got the other bar gunner here. So here's the other bar gunner. Plastic warlord, all in green. Then we have the 2 submachine gunners, both plastic. One's all in camouflage, one's all in greens. And then of course we have the bog standard rifle and carbine armed troops. So these are all, I think they're all plastic wool, all these guys. So we have again a mixture of all camouflage and all green. We have a carbine running chap here. Perhaps he's the corporal, this chap, or probably is actually more likely to be one of the the support guys for the bars. But of course, you don't need them. So Charlie Squad, yeah. And then here we have another one. Yeah, he's actually one of the team members for the bars, but of course I don't really need them. That's obviously me being a bolt action noob. And then finally just another plastic rifleman with an M1, and he's all in camouflage. So that is the second squad down. So basically what I'll do now is we've got 2 other rifle squads to go, but what I'll do is I'll split onto the guns now, and then we'll go back to the infantry. So next up we have the 37 Mike anti-tank gun. I remember this model being a complete ass to put together. Hated it, but I was pretty happy with the way I did the base. You can see that it goes way back beyond the gun to the point where you can see their backpacks and their rifles stacked up on rocks and stuff behind, just slightly behind the gun. Yeah, so you can see again a mixture of uniforms, mostly greens. I don't think there's any camouflage. No, all greens. So that is the 37mm anti-tank gun. Then we have the 75mm pack howitzer. So again, similar sort of base, but it doesn't go quite as far back because it's kind of behind a sort of a grassy verge. And these chaps have got some camouflage mixed in. You've got a guy with camouflage trousers on there, and various vests. I think these are the later vests that came in sort of like a sort of a darker green. And then we have the classic uniform jacket, cut off sleeves, and this chap's actually just written his name on the back of his shirt, Morris. And you can see a tattoo there. So that is the 75mm pack howitzer. That was actually a late addition to the army. I actually added it several months after I finished the army. Okay, so that's the guns out the way. So now let's go for the last 2 infantry squads. Let's start with, let's go for Alpha Squad. So, I think this guy's the sergeant. So here's the sergeant of Alpha Squad. He's an assault group. Get it to focus, there we go. You can see he's all in camouflage. And he has a sort of a beachy base. This chap. Then we have, oops, let's go for the bar gunners next. So let me just find them, where are they? So there's one. So this chap is obviously all in greens, and he doesn't even have a helmet cover. Of course, by this sort of stage, a lot of, especially in the early stages, it was basically when your uniform, your green uniform, started to wear out to the point where it's basically threadbare and useless. You were issued with the new camouflage gear. So obviously you've got green uniforms in all sorts of states of appearance. And obviously this chap has actually got his greens in pretty good nick at the moment. Although I do believe there was a time when they did actually swap everything out for the camouflage. Then we have a carbine chap, again probably designed to be a bar support. Again, a little bit of a noob, a bolt action noob move there, but of course it doesn't really matter because a carbine's still counted as a rifle anyway. Then we have the second bar gunner. Focus. Assault group, of course. There we go. So he is in a half and half. He's got the old school. He's got an old school bayonet on him, even though the bar doesn't take a bayonet. Then we have basically a plethora of riflemen for the rest of the squad. So, and again, these chaps are all assault group, I believe, or at least these two are. So here we have two Garand armed guys, both assault group. One in half and half, and one in all camouflage. And rather strangely, this chap with the M1 has got a carbine bayonet. Or no, actually, it's a K-bar, isn't it? It's a K-bar knife, rather than an M1 Garand bayonet. I'm not even sure if they even use those. But yeah, I guess he's got a K-bar. Then we have, I guess this guy was again designed to be a bar support gunner or support person. He also has a Japanese flag tucked in his belt, and looks like we've got a tuft coming off there. And he is in a half and half. Then we have yet another assault group rifleman. He is all in camouflage. We have a lowly plastic warlord chap here, all in camouflage. Really easy to do the camouflage. I mean, if I can remember what the damn colours were, I could tell you, 'cause it's very easy. It's basically whatever green that is, and then a slightly darker green, and then a really light brown and a flat brown. And you just basically pattern the dots all around in sort of splotches. Now, like I say, I was actually using a book as reference, especially when I started. But by the by a couple of squads, I was basically doing it just randomly, and it looks just as good. It's a really simple. Again, I come up with my own little method of doing things, and generally they're pretty easy. I mean, obviously it's a little time consuming doing the camouflage, but it's worth it. Bar gunner there, second bar gunner, or maybe it might even be the third bar gunner. No, second bar gunner. So that is actually Alpha Squad. And then finally, the last infantry squad is, I suppose it would be Dog Platoon. I think I've actually written Delta on the bottom of their bases, but I'm pretty sure the Marine Corps would say that they're Dog Platoon. So actually, I think I've just found, because this sergeant here is actually a command sergeant, so that means he should be an assistant to one of the officers or something. So he should go in with the support troops. I believe this is the that's the corporal. Try and find the sergeant for the squad. That's probably him actually. So yeah, so here we have the sergeant for dog squad, or Delta Squad I've called it, but probably call it Dog. plastic sergeant, warlord. I really like this arm with this slung Thompson. I think that's the reason why I decided to use him. I'd run out of officers, sergeants I mean, metal sergeants at this point. I think this is like the last infantry unit I did. We also have, we'll go for the bar gunners next. So we have another prone bar gunner, but this is actually a metal one this time, from Assault Group. I kind of put him between two rocks. He's on the beach. Actually quite a nice figure. And he's all in camouflage, but he hasn't got a helmet cover. Then we have only one. Oh, yeah, we do have a second bar. So here's the second bar gunner. He's all in greens actually. And of course, with those come the carbine guys. Now I think on this particular squad, they might have M1 armed guys as their helpers, but I could be wrong. So here we have just a standard couple of riflemen. The one prone is Assault Group. The one, actually they're both Assault Group. So we've got two Assault Group guys there. One all in camouflage, one half and half, trousers and top. Then we have, oh, here's a bar gunner. So this might be one of the rare 3-bar squads. Nice standing pose, all in camouflage. Then we have a bog standard plastic warlord guy, rifleman, M1. He's got his backpack on. Then we have, yeah, this guy's actually supposed to be one of the bar helpers. He's actually armed with an M1. He's got a green and half, green top. He's got the extra little bag there for carrying extra bar mag, so you know perhaps he is kind of helping the bar gunner out a bit. And he's got, of course got the M1 Garand. Then we have two rarely used guys with fixed bayonets. Both warlord plastics. And even though I'm not a massive fan of fixed bayonet figures for other forces other than the Japanese, I think these two chaps came out pretty cool. And obviously I converted their knife scabbards to not have the knives in because they're on their rifles. And it looks like we've got one all in camouflage and one half and half. And then the final two infantry, we have this conversion here. Now this is probably one of my favourite Marines that I did. You know, a bit of conversion on, and you can see that he's actually loading his clip into his M1. And he's actually made up of, I think it's like 2 different arms cut off at the wrist and the new arm put on. And I remember it. I was just basically trying to get a different pose, and the way that the hand stuck on, and when I stuck his arm on, it kind of just sat like that. I thought it was kind of a complete fluke, really. I never really planned it to be like that, but he turned out looking really cool, and he definitely is one of my favourite warlord plastic figures that's had a little bit of conversion on, and I think he's actually supposed to be the bar system, because he's got that extra satchel there to carry some extra ammo. Yeah, he is actually 2 of 2. So now the final figure of the whole dog squad or Delta squad is the Corporal, and he is obviously a bog standard plastic warlord, and he's got all green uniform top on. Okay, so that's the end of all the infantry. Next up we're going to go for the vehicles, and then that'll bring this video to an end. Now I'm just kind of looking at my books here because I've kind of forgotten the name of one of the tanks. I should know it, but it's just completely slipped out of my mind, and I'm just going to have to, rather embarrassingly, look it up. Hold on 2 seconds. What are we looking for here? That's strange, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm after. Right, give me 2 seconds. Oh, I was right. Okay. I was right. So, what I thought it was. So, I just wasted a couple of minutes for no real reason. Okay. Just give me a few seconds and we'll be back on schedule. Okay. Right, sorry about all that. Let's start off with the vehicles. So we'll start off with the wheeled vehicles. And of course, you can't have a Marine Corps Army unless you've got a Willys Jeep. So here we have the Marine Corps stylised Willys Jeep. Just a base box standard pattern, green with the one allied star. This is the Warlord model. Some people say it's small, and it certainly is. I've got to say it is, but I think it's a really nice little model. And I seem to remember the gunner being a right pain to stick in. But you can see that they've been Marine Corps-ized, because I think they're really meant to be US Army. But yeah, I thought a roving heavy machine gun on a moving platform would be quite cool little vehicle for if you want to take it. So that is the Marine Corps Willys Jeep. Then we have the M8 Scout car. I think this was acquired by the Marine Corps but never actually brought into action in real life. This is a beautiful model. I remember I picked this up as soon as it was announced it was being released, and I was really happy with it when I got it. It's a beautiful model. It's got all this stuff here is all put on. I think I just added that Marine Corps backpack there. It's got the tripod for the 50 caliber if you want to take it off. That's one I've stuck on, but these two are moulded. It's done up to be a little bit rusty, a little bit muddy, well, very muddy. It's kind of the crew decided to use natural means to camouflage it by driving through lots of mud. And we have the guy in the back there with his Garand. We have the gunner, he's actually a Company B figure from the half-track passenger pack. And then we have the officer, or the commander of the vehicle, and the driver. They were all supplied by Warlord. And of course it comes with the 230 cals on the back that run along that rail there. Beautiful vehicle and a beautiful model. So that's the M8 Scout car. Next up we'll go for the half-track. Now this is a Warlord half-track, which of course comes with nothing but a driver, and I went hunting for passengers, and I ended up finding them from Company B, and I was really happy with these chaps. Again, I ended up getting 2 packs. One is in my half track and one is in my LVT, and they are beautiful passenger figures. They're all in a mixture of various types of uniform again. This is the gunner from, I think this is actually the gunner that came in this particular pack, and I ended up using the second gunner for the scout car. But yeah, this is done up in a sort of a typical Marine Corps style. You can see that the US Marine Corps sign on the door there is almost completely rotted by a mixture of rust and mud. Somebody's decided to put jungle taxi on it. Got some backpacks on the side. Again, this, you can see sort of the mud and the rust. And yeah, same the other side. And I had to modify the cupola to actually take the machine gun. You can see that I had to build a little bit of a forward mounting point out of green stuff for the actual guy to fit in the cupola. So that is the half track. We're actually getting towards the end now. There's literally just 3 more vehicles to go. Next up we have the LVT, and you can see in the back there that we have the passengers. This is actually a model that was actually completely to my surprise, and I was very surprised when I came across it, that this was used in a highlighted by Warlord when they used to do their sort of weekly emails and include like their favourite sort of vehicles that they come across on the internet. Although unfortunately it was before I added the crew. But yeah, it's a beautiful model. It's all resin from Warlord, and I was really happy with the way it turned out. And of course I was extra happy. I've actually left the back able to come down when I put the passengers in. Now, obviously I think this vehicle is supposed to be able to carry like 44 guys in total. And obviously it's not quite scaled to take that many. But I did manage to fit the 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 guys from Company B into the back there, and it just helps bring the vehicle alive a little bit. It's a shame I couldn't get some gunners on there. I'd love to have. That's why I quite like the Rubicon ones, because you can actually get crew to be like, you can have a crewman sticking their head out the hatch, and got a couple of guys on the machine guns. But yeah, very cool. And of course resin, and quite heavy actually. So now on to the last 2. Obviously these are the tanks, so we'll start off with the bog standard M4. So this is a Sherman done in pretty basic Marine Corps markings. They didn't have a lot of markings on them, to tell the truth, and I suppose the only thing this is missing is basically some registration numbers that the Marine Corps had in yellow, starting with the USMC prefix, and of course it's got the classic number, name rather. So this is Bugs Bunny, and it came out really well. It weathered well. Came out pretty nice. And it's got a bit of stowage on the back. So that is the M4 Sherman. And then finally we got the Scout, the light tank, the M3. This is a resin Warlord model. Pretty sweet little model, got to admit. The crewman I converted into a Marine. Obviously it's supposed to be US Army really. And again it's got that sort of very pretty basic Marine Corps style markings, and it's got a magnetised turret so it doesn't fall off. And I did actually put the 30 cal on, although in reality a lot of the tank crews took those off because they would catch foliage when going through areas of jungle, and in some cases the jungle would actually rip the entire machine gun off. So a lot of them, a lot of crews actually removed those cupola machine guns. Not that I'd particularly want to jump out in a firefight to actually get onto the back of a tank and actually operate it. So yeah, that's the and you can see it's got again a mixture of some mud and a little bit of rust from coming in from the sea. And yeah, that's the end of this bolt action US Marine Corps update. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll be back just after Christmas with my completed next battalion of French, and hopefully shortly after that my actual 8th Infantry Division overview, and of course following on a few weeks after that will be part 3 of my favourite overviews of my older armies. Now I'm not sure if you guys enjoyed the idea of choosing what's coming next, but I'll give you a couple of options if you want to partake, and there'll be Saga Irish or bolt action Italians, and of course it doesn't really matter which one wins because the other one will still get done at some point. So just go for your favourite one that you'd prefer to see next, and yeah, that's more or less the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I'll see you all most probably after Christmas. So until then, a big thank you to everyone who subscribed, and have a good one. So until next time, catch you later. Bye bye.